everyone. It's time for me to answer all your cesarean recovery questions, but before I do, please watch my workshop today if you haven't already. I'll link it to the next slide. It was about the cesarean recovery roadmap. And literally, if you don't have a rehab program for after major abdominal surgery, I got one right here. So if you don't have one, please consider mine. It's the Cesarean Recovery Foundations program. I also have a couple more and other levels of support, but the point is, ask your perinatal therapist that you currently work with. Ask your obstetrician. They may or may not have one. You want to have a plan for recovery. Is a thing that I want everybody to really remember is that just because you're not in pain, it doesn't mean you're fully recovered. Hello, everybody. It's Jeanette Yee, your perinatal. 100% compression can be used day one after your cesarean. As a matter of fact, I recommend it. Compression socks, great idea. I mean, if you've ever had any major abdominal surgery or medicated birth, the swelling can last for up to 2 weeks in your feet. So socks are a great idea. And abdominal compression, yes. Abdominal wraps are probably a great idea starting day one. And as soon as you can get into a compression garment by the 2-week mark, if not sooner, absolutely use that. If you can wear a compression garment from day one after cesarean, I would highly recommend that. But the reality is, there's so much swelling that it's very tough to get a proper compression garment on. And quite frankly, it's very tough to get a compression garment on when you don't have any ab strength. So for the most part, the cesarean moms that I work with, we use an ab wrap starting day one, or as soon as you are comfortable and as soon as you are able to, you would progress on to a compression garment. Now, not all compression garments are created equal, so I'm going to link below the one that I recommend the most, and they are by SRC Health. They're phenomenal. Take a look and feel free to use my 15% discount code. When talking about wraps, it's important to follow a couple of principles because while I appreciate not all brands are available worldwide, there are a couple of things that you want to consider as to whether or not a wrap works for your body. So first is you want to make sure that that wrap comes all the way around your entire torso comfortably without having to pull extra tight, because tighter is not better. Second, you want it to be able to cover your entire torso. So from your pubic bone right up to your sternum, if possible. At the very least, your entire surgical area. So at least above your belly button with no problems. And lastly, you want to make sure it's comfortable enough to sit in and maybe even sleep in. Oftentimes a wrap will ride up or slide up your body if you sit, and you don't want that to happen. Kind of curious if you want me to run a workshop entirely about compression, because let's talk about that C-section shelf. First of all, every body responds to major abdominal surgery differently. That's number one. Number two, it's hard to say. I mean, I shouldn't say a lot, some moms I work with who are second time or multiple cesarean birth moms, their secondary, tertiary cesarean is their best recovery because they're actually following a rehab program, right? And a little goes a long way. But on the other hand, they're not getting as much rest as they could have been if they only had one baby, right? If it's a secondary or tertiary cesarean, you're taking care of toddlers and children at the same time as taking care of yourself. So with that in mind, the C-section shelf recovery is different for every person, but as long as you have protected time and you follow a program, your shelf recovery would be great. It is never too late for cesarean recovery. That being said, specifically about a C-section shelf, at the the 6-month mark, I mean, for sure, if you've never done any scar massage before, then that's a contributor to the appearance of your scar. It's tight and it's stuck. So yes, if you start scar massage, it's going to be able to loosen up and your shelf the appearance will improve. And if you have never done any exercise, strengthening, or core retraining at 6 months postpartum, yes, if you start, then your shelf will improve. Here's the thing. 6-month mark is a little bit of a gray zone because there are going to be other reasons why there is a shelf-like appearance. So I'm going to link a free resource below. It talks about like 9 causes of a C-section shelf. This is applicable for you if you're 6 months and years plus postpartum. Find the cause of your shelf and then address that. That would be your solution. I used to have a scar tape that I absolutely loved, but Spider-Tech stopped carrying it. The good news is that it is being white labeled under Motivo Scar Care, so I'm going to link that account below. They will be launching their C-section scar tape at any point right now, so keep following them and be the first to know. And this is the product that I used to recommend to all my cesarean birth clients, and it is helpful for hypertrophic scars, red scars, raised scars, keloid scars. This was a scar tape invented by a Toronto burns surgeon. Actually, he treats people who've been burned in fires, and the scar tape is what he does and what he uses to help increase the pliability and the mobility and proper healing of scars. I actually have never used silicone patches with my clients, really ever. However, you know who has? The folks at 360 Mamas. So I'm going to link their account here below, and they talk about a silicone patch that they use with all of their cesarean clients. They're out of the UK, so I'm not sure if their products can be purchased here in North America, but absolutely connect with them and they'll be better individuals to answer this question about silicone patches. Before I answer this question, let's talk about why scar massage after cesarean is so mandatory. Scars heal tight and they heal stuck down. So when you massage it, that gets prevented. And what happens is decreased pain, improved scar appearance and C-section shelf appearance, and improved strength and posture. So when you have an IUD, when it's first implanted, some women talk about bloating for a period of time, even months, pain, soreness because of the insertion of a foreign object that takes a bit of time to get used to. But some women never do get used to it. Let's assume you do. For the period of time that there are symptoms, it is not unsafe to do scar massage. It won't hurt you, but it just might feel uncomfortable. So that would be the biggest thing. 100%. You can use a vibrator massager for your scar massage. As a matter of fact, I've never really even thought about this. This is brilliant. One of the first types of scar massages that you want to do is something called desensitization massage. Like literally, you are gently stimulating on a surface level the skin so that it can receive touch and pressure. So when you use a mechanical item like a vibrator, what happens is if you can't physically touch your own scar for various reasons, sometimes using a tool will be fantastic. I mean, I already talk about using, tapping technique over your clothes, light raking with, like, say, a fork with the tines or with the flat end, hot, cold with ice or shower head, etc. But this, kind of brilliant. Try it out. I love this question because I think a lot of messaging out there always says if you see coning or doming of your diastasis during movements and exercises, then to avoid that exercise altogether. And that's just simply not true. You gotta move to get better, to get stronger, to retrain your core. You gotta move. So avoiding doming isn't a good thing. I'm going to link an amazing account, two amazing accounts actually, Dr. Sinead Dufour and Anthony Lowe's account. He's the physio detective. They are educator of educators, but they also run coursework for the lay person. These are accounts that talk tons about diastasis, but to answer this actual exact question, no, fully healing of a diastasis, first of all, is not an injury, and you can be fully functional with one, like me. Job stretches, movements, exercises for mobility during cesarean recovery, they're all here in this rehabilitation program. This is exactly what my workshop was about today. You gotta follow a program. It's so simple. You don't miss anything. Like, there's nothing you forget in your recovery then if you're following a program. It's 5 minutes a day. You gotta do one scar massage and one exercise. It's not a straightforward question because this 5-minute routine changes every week because you're recovering so quickly. So there isn't one top stretch movement exercise in general. There just isn't. It's different for every person at every different time, and it changes as you recover and do your homework.